In this video, we are given that f of x equals x times the square root of 3 minus x. We want to find a such that f prime evaluated at x equals a equals 2. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn notifications so you don't miss a video. Okay, so I rewrote the equations and then plugging in a for x, so we get f of a equals a times the square root of 3 minus a. So we should find the domain of f. So to make sure that f is real, the square root of 3 minus a has to be real. That means that the inside has to be bigger than or equal to 0 in the square root. So 3 minus a is bigger than or equal to 0. That means that negative a is bigger than or equal to negative 3. This means that a is less than or equal to 3. Okay. So now we're going to do f prime of x. This is the derivative of f of x that I rewritten. Okay, so this would be a product rule. So the derivative of the first term will go to 1. So that would be square root of 3 minus x plus x times the derivative of square root of 3 minus x, which is 1 over 2 times the square root of 3 minus x, times the derivative of the inside, which is negative 1. So this will be minus, so we have minus x. Okay. So now our condition that we had before is f prime of a equals 2. Specifically, that means that f prime of a is bigger than 0. And this will help deciding which a value to pick. So a, also because of the domain, has to be less than or equal to 3. So I rewrote f prime of a again. Okay, so let's get a common denominator. So we have to multiply, so we have to make sure we have 2 times the square root of 3 minus a on this term, top and bottom. So we're going to multiply it by it. So we have 2, and then this whole thing squared. Because a is less than or equal to 3, this means 3 minus a will be bigger than or equal to 0. So that means we don't have to worry about absolute value here. Okay, so we have 2 times 3 minus a all over 2 times the square root of 3 minus a. Okay, this will be equal to 2 times 3, which is 6, minus 2a on the top, minus a, which is minus 3a, all over 2 times the square root of 3 minus a. The condition is that f prime of a has to be bigger than 0. So let's set this bigger than 0. And now we know if a equals 3, it won't work, because over here, the 3 minus a is on the denominator, so that would go to 0 on the denominator, which is not good. That means that a cannot be equal to 3. This means we can multiply by this, and it won't change anything, because this is also positive. So that means we have 6 minus 3a is bigger than 0, which specifically means that a is less than 2. So instead of a is less than or equal to 3, we have a bigger condition that a, or more restrictive condition that a is less than 2. Okay, so now f prime of a, as we said, we can rewrite it as this, and now we're going to set it equal to 2. Okay. So now let's square both sides, given that a is less than 2. Okay, so 6 minus 3a squared, which is, we can just do that right now. So that would be 36 minus 2 times 6 times 3, which is 36. A, and then negative 3 squared is plus 9, and a squared is a squared, all over 2 squared is 4 times 3 minus a, equals, on the right hand side we have 2 squared, which is 4. Okay, so now we can multiply by 4, so we're going to get 36 minus 36a plus 9a squared. We can also multiply by 3 minus a, so that would be 16 times 3, which is 48. And we have 16 times negative a, which is minus 16a. Okay, good. So now let's keep everything on the left-hand side. So this a squared coefficient is positive. So we have 9a squared. And then we're going to have, so we have minus 36a. We add 16, so that would be minus 20a. And then we're going to have is 36 minus 48, which is minus 12, equals 0. Okay, good. So what do we do from here? So now we can use the quadratic formula. So now we have that a equals negative b, which is 20, plus or minus square root of b squared, which is 400, minus 4 times a times c, which is negative 12, but the negative can turn into a positive because negative, all over 2 times a, which is 18. Okay, so this will be 20 plus or minus. So we can take out a 4. So this will be, so we're going to divide by 4, which is 100. So 400 divided by 4 is 100, and then this 4 can go away. And so this will be, so instead, this will be 20 plus or minus 2 because we took out a 4. So now we can divide by 2. So this will be 10 plus or minus square root over 9 on the denominator. So this will be 100, 9 times 12, so 12 times 9, which is 18, 108. So 108 plus 100 is 208. Okay, so now 208. This can be 2 and 104. So let's do actually by 4. So 4, this will be 52, and then 2 and another 4 and a 13, right? So this will be, you can take out a 4, so this will be 10 plus or minus, take out a 4, so that would, because we have 2 4s, then we have square root of 13 all over 9. Okay. So we can take out a 2 again, so we can have 2 over 9 we can take out, and then we're left with 5 plus or minus, and then we took out a 2, so this will be 2 square root of 13. Okay, good. So this will be A, but we're going to call this A1 and A2 because there's plus or minus, so there's 2 solutions. But only one of them will work. So let's check both of them just to be sure. So A1 will be 2 over 9 times 5 plus 2 square root of 13. Okay, the biggest condition we have is that A is less than 2. So what does this tell us? So if this is bigger than or equal to 2, this won't work. So let's check it. Now, we can show that this is bigger than 2, so let's do that. So this is bigger than, well, 2 over 9 is 2, you can keep 2 over 9 the same. But let's deal with the square root of 13. So this will be 5 plus 2 square root of 13. We're going to use the fact that square root of 13 is bigger than the square root of 9, which equals 3. So this is 5 plus 2 times 3. Okay, so this will be 2 over 9, 5 plus 6, which is 11. Okay, so this is 2 over 9. I'm just going to rewrite it as 2 times 11 over 9. Now we're going to use the fact that 11 over 9 is bigger than 1. So this is bigger than 2, which means if A is bigger than 2, this doesn't work. So A1 does not work. So let's check A2. So A2 will be 2 over 9 times 5 minus 2 square root of 13. Okay, so because of the negative, this will be less than 2 over 9 times 5. This is 2 times 5 over 9. 5 over 9 is less than 1, so this is less than 2. So that means that A2 is the answer, which is 2 over 9 times 5 minus 2 square root of 13. So this is actually just A. And that is the end of the video. Hope you liked it, and thanks for watching.